All right, coaches, thank you for tuning in to another wonderful night of our IFCA Journal podcast. I am your host, PJ Hedgerton, and I have a special guest today, our IFCA board president, Rober.luther. He is probably I would call him probably one of the most unique offensive coaches in our state. He has been at, I'm going to say, 4A, 2A, 8-man, and 5A level calling offensive plays and as a head coach. Am I correct, Coach?
You're right there, man. I've been around for a while.
Been around for a while. All right, so here's his bio. We'll get into it. Like I said, he's one of the most unique offensive minds that I know. He started his career off at Van Meter. He was at Woodward Granger H.S in Des Moines. EMB as a head coach, Baxter as a head coach, Ankeny offensive coordinator. He was a one-time coach of the year, 4-time district coach of the year. He was also an all-area coach of the year in the metro area. He's been a committee chair for our board for, oh my God, many years that I've known. I've also used him as a sounding board to go visit him a couple times and learn about his culture and offense as well. Our special guest, Rober.luther. Welcome.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on, Coach. I appreciate the chance to talk ball with you, and we go way back, so this is going to be fun.
I know, man. I feel old. I still remember sitting in your office, and you had all these cool books and Michael Jordan stuff, and I was just like, wow, this is impressive. And you're a huge Notre Dame fan.
I'm sitting in my basement right now. I am a huge Notre Dame fan. I'm turning into a huge Penn State fan over the last 3 or 4 weeks, though.
Yeah, by the way, coaches, if you don't know, his son took a role. He was at Iowa State with Coach Campbell, and he's part of that process of going up there to Penn State on that staff and helping out there. And so now it's I guess we should say we are, when I see you next time, we are.
Right. That's what I saw. I saw Coach Campbell over the holiday with Trent, and that's all I said. We are. So I'm learning.
And you know what? I'd love to be a fly on the wall. The history, the prestige of Penn State. That's just amazing. You know what I mean? That's got to be a good honor.
So I'm excited to get out there. I've not seen it yet. We have been busy, but we're going to get out here pretty quick. And I just am excited to, that's a historical place if you love football and college football, just to be in there. So we'll definitely make a game or two this fall if we can.
All right. So I started the podcast now, and I gave you probably. And I gave you more props probably than what you would like me to say, but I had to.
For sure.
Like I said, you are to me you are a brilliant offensive mind. I just want to know and so me and the coaches, we want to. What's your coaching philosophy? We'll start off with our first question. What's your coaching philosophy?
I think there's a difference between a coaching philosophy and an offensive philosophy. So the last year, PJ, I've spent a lot of time obviously at Ankeny High School and really just focused on offense as the offensive coordinator. So that's a new role for me because I'd been a head coach for 30 years in the state. And at that, you got a program philosophy and about culture and building leadership and building kids. This year was really more focused on an offensive philosophy. And, I took from a lot of people. We spent time talking. I can go all the way back to Ed Thomas and Randy Hinkle to even new guys. And I just played golf with Rick Roberts from Van Meter and just trying to steal from everybody. And to me, I think we're playing in a game now that sometimes we make it more difficult than we need to. Sometimes simple is better. I guess my philosophy is we're going to do a few things really well, and we're going to show you a lot of different ways to look like we're doing it in different formations, different ways, put you in stressful situations. I've always been make tackle guys cover and cover guys tackle, understand what they don't want to do, and let's force them to do that. I love to throw the ball. I've learned, that through 8-man, we could chuck it all over the place. This year, we were pretty balanced, but, it's getting your guys in space. That. It's getting your best players get the ball a place that you don't want them to have it. But again, it's not, I guess the last thing I'd say, it's not plays, it's players. I learned that this year. We had one of the best running backs in the state of Iowa. I was a zone type guy, and he was a gap runner. And I like pistol, and he liked sidecar. And you know what? We ended up running gap out of sidecar because that's what the kid did well, and that's what he was good at. And that's what you got to adapt in this game, and you got to let the players make plays.
Man, I tell you what, you're on fire. You're moving right into my next question. How did you develop your philosophy? And again, you just said you've adapted in the season, but how did you develop that philosophy to even get to that point?
It's like all of us, we're in a stealing business. I mean, you just steal from everybody that you respect and see something. I think a couple things. I had Mike Zelinovich was a mentor of me, who's now, and I coach Brad at when he's the coach of Polk at East High, and I learned the veer from Coach Zelinovich. He was a mentor. My high school coach was in the gun in 1980s. I was a quarterback throwing the ball over the place. So it's just learning bits and pieces from everybody, I think, along the way. I remember maybe a turning point to me was had the opportunity to listen to Gus Malzahn at a clinic, got the chance to talk to him a little bit after he spoke. And that was tempo, that was spread. We were spread early 2000s when nobody was running 3x2s and 2x2s. That's never going to leave me because that I think at CMB, where I spent most of my career, coach, we didn't have great linemen. We had problems even blocking just base run plays. We weren't as physical as we needed to be. So we had to find ways. Our screen game become important. Getting the ball on the edge was important. And that's the whole 8-man game. So when you say, how did I develop it? It's just truly watching. I was up at the Dome this year and saw some stuff Kemper did. I wrote it down. I want to talk to that coach in the offseason. You just find things that work. But again, sometimes I think as a young coach, I had too much on my plate. I wanted to do this and this and this and this. You have to refine that. We just had a staff meeting the other night. It's about being simple. You just got to simplify and believe what you're doing and then do that really well.
Good. How do you stay true to your philosophy, even during the tough
I
times?
think it helped as I get, because as a young kid, let me tell you, I was one as a young coach at 30. I wanted the chalk last, or I wanted the marker last. I'm going to out scheme you on this board. And you know what? I learned that's not what it's about. It's truly about those kids and what you're teaching. We're just teaching life through the great game of football. But you know what? You can't be flavor of the day. You can watch football, and I don't even care. You watch the next couple nights in college. There's different ways to be really good. You have to find one that you like, but you got to adapt. As I've gotten older, I think to stay true to that means you have to be flexible. I just gave the example, and you know what? At Ankeny, we had huge dudes up front, guys up front that were the best linemen. So we're going to run the ball more. They got on people, and we were a really good gap team, and we learned power, and power wasn't something that I necessarily believed in. Everybody runs power, but we found a lot of different ways to run that because we were good at that. So to stay true is to be flexible, I think.
Oh, that's good. Good. All right. So you kind of mentioned your new position at Ankeny this year, okay? But what impressed me is you made a jump from 8-man, calling plays at 8-man, all the way up to 11-man, the highest classification in the state of Iowa, 5A. Tell us a little bit about that and some of the challenges, the good and the bad.
Yeah, that I think I always felt like football was football, but let me tell you, going to the 8-man game, it was an offensive game, and I loved it for a while. And we took our 11-man philosophy, our 11-man playbook, and turned that into what we wanted to do 8-man. But even when we went 8-man, I was talking to those guys that were already successful in 8-man. How do you do this? It took a while getting back. I was the head coach in the Shrine game a few years back, and that got the 11-man juices going a little bit. And I thought, I want to end my career back in the 11-man game, not to take anything away from the 8-man game. It was good to me. We scored it. I mean, we scored points in the 90s. I think one of our teams was the third highest scoring offense in all of 8-man. We had fun scoring the football. We couldn't stop anybody, which let us score a lot of points. But I got to Ankeny, and it just turning that back into relying on, we had an unbelievable staff at Ankeny, guys that I've learned so much from in this last year, and letting them guide me this year. And like I said in our meeting this week, now I'm ready to take a little bit bigger lead now that I've found my footing. And we had a really successful year scoring, I don't know what, in upper 20s, low 30. We scored some points. We had a really good season. We got busted in the playoffs and didn't play well that night. But the transition has not been as hard as some people would think that it was. And I think because my first 20 plus years were in the 11-man game, it's like riding a bike, man. We step back on the bike, and football's football. You block, you tackle, you usually win. Don't make mistakes.
Correct. Yeah. Very true. All right. So I'm a run guy, and you know that about me. I love it, and I'm a gap scheme guy in zone. I'm pretty balanced.
Okay.
For you, you said that the biggest adjustment was adjusting to the power game gap. What are some key run plays for you in that? Did you run some inside zone? Did you run some outside zone? I mean, because I know you're a big RPO guy, so that's what we're leading up to. But I want to know, okay,
absolutely,
your gap, yeah. Tell me about your gap scheme, what you did, some key plays for you doing that.
Sure. Our top run play this year at Ankeny for us was our counter tray, and I'm an off the ball Y guy. We call him H, off the ball tight end, and we ran more GH this year than we ran GT. But our counter game was our best run play. I came in wanting to run
Mm,
zone. In the 8-man game, it's a very big, whether it's duo or
yeah,
zone. We could talk a whole clinic on that. But we were
right.
double and climb. Our outside zone at Ankeny this year, coach, was really our slot. We ran more outside zone, which we called our jet fly motion, because then we would come back and run our counter. One thing I'm really excited about learning about, and that's kind of my off season, is running more bash, probably pulling that Y into an arc and both quarterback
Right,
bash
right.
and running back bash, and pulling the guys one way and coming back. And because I'm used to reading players in the 8-man game, you couldn't get enough hats on people. You just couldn't outnumber the box unless your quarterback was running. You had to read everybody. So I came in really
Right.
thinking we were going to read a lot of people. To be honest, our guys, we
Mm,
were huge up front. We leaned on people really well, and we had a couple really good guards that pulled. So the next thing you know, we're a counter team and a power team. And I had a kid that pressed that A so hard and just was a downhill kid. And if you're a downhill kid, he really wasn't a one cut kid. So my not philosophy, but we changed from a zone team to really a hard counter and power football team. And we messed around with some pin and pull and did some nice stuff. And we
I
hadn't
was
ran a
just gonna
lot of pin
ask
and
you.
pull, especially in 8-man, but I like that play, and we're going to build off that play this year. That was a very successful play for us as well. Our pin and pull stuff.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just gonna ask you about your pin and pulls and how you're running some of your GT stuff and things of that nature. So, but that's good. Your gap game.
Yeah, we were really good offensive line coaches, Coach White, Coach Kluver, guys that have been around this game for a long time. And, I leaned on them. They were both gap type guys, and they taught the crap out of it. And it's pretty easy if you're coaching quarterbacks and receivers to run gap. I can get that. So I just learned and stayed out of their way a little bit, coach.
Yep. Good. 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 How did you add the element of your quarterback run game?
I've always been a big quarterback run game, to be honest with you. And I thought we were going to be bigger in the quarterback run game than we were. In the 8-man game, we were really spread, and we run quarterback trap, a little bit of fly motion quarterback counter. We did some of that this year. I had more of a true pocket passer kid, a great quarterback, Kale Roush. And, he was good at it. We just had success doing other stuff. But this year, we're going to be a big quarterback run game. Like I said, I think bash, our zone read, but a lot of our read is what you're going to lead up to in our RPO game. I mean, we're counting the box, we're looking at the alley players, and we're gonna, if you want to get your hat in there, we're gonna throw it out. And that's something that where our run read game really becomes RPO quick game.
Okay. Who are you reading most of the time on your RPOs, and give us a little example of some of your RPO stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of us, whether we're running gap or zone, it doesn't. We're for the most part we're reading alley players, depending on the scouting report and what they're doing. But we're just counting the box like everybody does. And if the box is heavy or light, and we're just taking a peek, and then usually, I mean, our number one RPO is just our bubble block. We'll run bubble slant. We'll run double hitch. We just want to put those safeties in our game. At least the teams we played, most of that game calling, it really comes down to where those safeties are playing. How many high are they to start? Are they two under roof? Are they rolling? What are they doing there? And where are those people that can be in the box and out of the box? I mean, you're going to see some bare front, you're going to see some guys coming down, and we got to have an answer for that when it's usually that alley player. And are we answering it with a bubble? We answering it with a hitch out there. The whole run game's predicated on getting hats at the point of attack, as many as we can get there. So if we can have an answer when they're playing that, I think, and we're messing around a little bit, coach. I'm pretty intrigued by this pass screen option, PSOs, we're calling it, where we're half field read on the pass game and having a screen, not necessarily linemen could be involved, but always we found that half field read in our pass game, and then coming back, and instead of dumping, check down running back, let's have a check down with blocking it at the point of attack on the backside. So that's
Right.
something
Yep.
else we haven't done that we're going to start looking at again. Our kids are very talented and gifted at Ankeny. We need to give them opportunities, when the ball pre-snap read, but even more post-snap read. That's where you got to have, if you got kids that can read stuff post-snap, you are ahead of the game.
Good. 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 All right. So let's say I'm a young coach, and again I'm an offensive coordinator, and everyone knows that man coverage can be tough for RPOs. Okay. Depending on the front. And so what's my key and my teaching points in attacking a man front with the RPO game?
To me, I mean, it's that odd even front. It's rules up front with your linemen and the RPO game. Understand it's the quarterback understanding who his read is. Is my read that alley player? And it's not always that, an inside zone we're reading backside end. What we're finding, at least I found this year, man, there is so much just crash down out of the end. We would even change our inside zone read to the outside linebacker or that alley guy because we know the end's coming hard and see him, we're taking him. We're not even trying to read him. And teams will play games with that. We really work hard in June and July when we don't have pads and we're just out there and coaches standing or our twos and understanding, teaching those kids where that read is. We have the philosophy, when in doubt, give the ball. It's war for 4 for us. So our war is to get 4 yards on every play. And if we can go get a hat there, it doesn't have to be a great football play, but if it goes and gets in, that's where I know you believe in that. Let's get downhill. Let's go get 4 or 5. You can call a great play in 2nd and 5, a whole lot better than 2nd and 10. If you make a bad read, throw it out. And it's not, you got a bad football play. So we're kind of that war for 4 mentality, but there's times there's just too many hats or they're coming late and you got to have an answer to throw it out. But that's stuff you can work on all summer long. That's if I was a young offensive coordinator, I would be, I don't care what you believe in, whether it's zone, gap, what's the pass option, the play action option, and what's my option off that play if they want to do that. And I learned a little bit from Bixby, Oklahoma does this. Fastball is your base play, a curveball is the play that's coming off that, and a changeup is something that looks like that play. And you just got to build your playbook, and you know that. And it does start with power, counter, zone. It doesn't even really matter. What are you building next off that? So once we do that, we want to look just the same. And then what's that changeup off that? And what's that pass play or that screen play off that? So I learned there's a lot of ways. I don't care if you're in 21, you're in 22, if you want to be in 10, if you want no back, but run the ball. And what are we doing once that looks like we can run that ball? So it's just kind of layering that play and keep it simple. I mean, know what you want as I'm coming in. If I was talking to young OC, I'd say start right here and let's get really good at running power. Then there's things you can run off that, whether it's RPO or screen game, whatever you want to do off that.
Okay. As an offensive coordinator, how do you structure your week as far as planning and being detail oriented?
Absolutely. I think one thing that I need to be better at is competing during the week. I think sometimes we got a little bit of just being crisp, but we got to start competing harder. I think in those big games where we may have fell a little short, I wanted our kids to compete a little harder. But in game week, coach, for us, Sunday nights are huge. Our coaches meet and then our kids get the game plan Sunday night. We do books, we do film. We're writing everything down on Sunday. So Monday is a walkthrough day for us. We look at our fastballs. So our power game, our counter game, our pin and pull game, our zone game, where are they going to line up? And let's walk and talk and be really solid on what we call our fastballs or our base run plays. So then on Tuesday, we will speed that up, obviously. And we do 2 things in practice that I really like. Obviously, we run inside run against scout. We have Skelly against scout. We will run what we call fast 7. Later on the year, we even got to fast 11, where we're running 1v1 or at least 1v really good 2s or 1As. And that's really a part of practice that everything's scripted to the minute, to the play. But I really enjoy when we're competing like that. And so then our Wednesday, you're talking about our Wednesday really is our changeup. So that's really where we get heavy in RPO. That's really where we get heavy in our screen game. What's our vertical pass off that play action? So Tuesday is more base than our Wednesday. And then Thursday, obviously, we are a tempo team. We have those 4 or 5 plays that we go fast with each week. So that's part of our early in the week, what's going to be our tempo, our NASCAR 4 or 5. And then, you have situational football. That's so important to what are you doing in the red? What are you doing in the low red this week? What's our backed up coming out? But you got to plan that on Sunday. If you're trying to get that on Wednesday and Thursday, you're already too late. So it is repetition. I just want to find more times in practice that we can really compete hard in having winners and losers. Cause I think we fell a little short on really when the chips were down, who can you go to war with? It's hard to find that when you're just kind of walking through stuff and running Skelly. So I think that answered kind of what we do through the week anyway.
But one of the key things that I got out of there that I loved, and I learned this at Drake, is scripting plays during practice week, okay? And as a young coach, I mean, you really don't understand that. Can you go into detail and explain the importance of scripting plays during the week and how that helps you for a Friday night?
Absolutely. So, what I've appreciated this year is our inside run time. My O line guy scripts that. So, he'll have that done by noon of practice day. I can look, I can add, I can tweak, but I let him script our inside run time. I've got a pass game coordinator that's our wide receivers coach. He scripts our 7-on-7 time. Again, same thing. If there's something he's not in there, and to be honest, it would all look the same because we're so on the same page on Sunday. We know what we need to run. Sometimes it may be a little bit of a motion shift, or we may run something out of a different formation, but they script that. Then it's on me to script our seven, what I talked about with our fast seven versus our one versus ones. I script our team time and situational football in team time if we're looking at third downs and shorts or whatever we're looking at. And then twice a week we run 2-minute drill, and I will script kind of an umbrella script to that because we're trying to win. So that's maybe more of a call sheet, but we have and if I'm off script, which probably happened 8 times the entire year, I'm yelling to our team because our running back coach needs to look down and be able to see that. We signal everything in. There's times in practice I'll even put a huddle or we're signaling, but all those guys need to see what we're running that next play because they're working at their position and need to be able to coach that kid up when the play's done instead of trying to hear it or watch what was signaled in. We all are on that same script. So I mean, I've scripted for a long, long time. And I think it's extremely important. And it's really more for all your assistants to be able to take a look and say, hey, we're running pin and pull to the field right here. I need to be able to be watching to make sure the assignment's done, the alignment's right, the execution's right. So, I mean, I just think, and we do everything obviously electronically. Every coach has it. As soon as we put it out on our Google Doc, they're seeing it. They can make a note. You'll see coaches with different notes in their sheets on that play, inside run. Hey, this is something we wanted to look at, or it's real important for our guys that run our scout. I mean, that inside run, those guys have to be aligned. It isn't a guess whether I'm in a 1 or a 2, or I'm walked up on the outside in a 7 and a bear. I mean, it's written. This is exactly where we want to see this defense. And it's sometimes to put your kids in conflict. I don't want it to be easy for them. I want you to bring 7 on this on this team play because we want to see if we can pick the blitz up and get it off. I mean, you want to put your kids in that kind of conflict, and you can't do that if not everything's scripted. It takes a lot of time, but you also hope it's paying off in the end.
Right, right, all right. Wouldn't you agree that it helps you? It's more of an effective teaching strategy, teaching from the script than it is just going off cuff, correct?
Absolutely. And what you're seeing the benefit on the end is we'll take a look, and we film practice, obviously drone it and take a look at it. And you know what? We'll decide on Tuesday night, talking to guys on text, hey, this didn't work. Now, can we fix this on Wednesday? Or are we getting rid of this idea, this concept, or if they're in this, we're not going to run that. So if you don't, I mean, one is it's great because you get in and go to ODK, you get everything, your playlist done out of practice so much faster because I'm just working off the script. There wasn't anything that wasn't on the script, but it helps on Friday, coach, that because things that you've scripted on, we wanted to see us run smash concept 3 times a day. We're going to run it in 7s. We're going to run it in 2-minute. We're going to run it in team. And was it good all 3 times? If it was bad 3 times, Wednesday, we're not running our smash concept. We'll find a different, we're going to run snag, or we're going to run, spot, or whatever we want to run. Because for whatever reason, if they're sitting in 2 and our quarterback's not reading it very good, then let's get off that concept right away. We tried it 3 times today, but if you're not scripting it, you won't know how many times did you run counter tray? How many times did you, bash? I want to see that a lot today because it's something new and we really think it's effective Friday. So be intentional about how many times you're running different things during your day, for sure.
Okay, so let's and again, you and I've been in the state long enough to know. Okay, say I'm a lower level coach. I'm an 8-man. I'm an A, class A, and I've got, oh my God, I've got 20 something kids or 30. How do I script practice for that, for those kids?
Absolutely. So to me, I think there's different ways if we're talking scout and cards, and I think it's important for that as well. I think it's important. We've talked about this. You want your coaches to value. So you want them to be involved, and we're coaching up every time. I mean, we kind of have this, if you're an arm folder, you're not coaching you're not coaching for me. We're not going to sit back, fold our arms, and just kind of watch. We're coaching up where it's hard. You can't coach up if you don't know the play that's being run in that situation. But I think it's also important, it keeps kids involved. Like an 8-man, I mean, we may have only had just our front. We wouldn't maybe have anybody on the back end, but it's important that that freshman D tackle is lining up right. So you've got a scout team coach to know, I don't know what they're running at me necessarily as a D tackle, but I know my coach told me I'm in a 1 here and I'm coming A gap hard and I'm slanting strength or whatever you want them to do. So now you got all kids involved, and that's one thing like in the 8-man game that I loved is we had kids playing for us. We had kids playing on Friday night that would never have played in 2A football. He sure wouldn't have played in 5A football, but he got that chance to experience this unbelievable, awesome thing we call Friday Night Light. So, and what's your role? I mean, if you're not scripting practice, you just got good dudes standing out in space. They're not doing anything for you. They're not doing anything for themselves. So how do I find my role? My role is to be the best damn strong safety for Southeast Polk that I got to play against Ankeny on Friday night in this playoff game. I'm going to take over the role of number 23. I'm going to do him the best I can. And I can only do that if we know we're teaching on Sunday, teaching on Monday. Here's the script and here's your alignment. Here's what we need you to do. So I think it just puts everybody on the same page. It values your assistant coaches. It values everybody in the process of evaluation, all of it. And I just, if there was one thing to a young OC, man, just script what you want that day and make sure you're staying hard and have a reason you're scripting. I mean, a reason why I'm running that play in that situation. So hopefully that answered that.
Well, no, you did. It was absolutely perfect. I mean, there's so many times you get in there and you just kind of go at it.
Absolutely. If you're and it doesn't matter if it's Division I football, you're coaching running backs at Drake, and maybe your OC scripting your inside run. You better know am I on 7? Am I on 8? Is it left hash? Is it right hash? Is it middle? What the heck am I looking for? It can't just be blitz pickup. What is the blitz pickup, and what's our call here to be able to evaluate that kid and coach him up? You get it. Doesn't matter if it's 8-man or Drake Bulldogs. You get that.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're always evaluating. That's the process. You're always evaluating. All right. So the next step is how do you get buy-in with your staff, okay, to your offensive system? What's some of your approaches?
Well, this year was different for me. It was great. It was finding, I probably have 10 full-time, part-time guys on my varsity offense. And I'm coming in and I gotta get some belief. I gotta know what I'm talking about, but I also have to listen to them. I think that's really important throughout summer, all of us together. Hey, what do you see? I think giving that coach autonomy, it's your position. You tell me, are you seeing that as a 70-30 this week? What situations are you playing this running back this week? What situations? I'm not telling you. You tell me. I'm looking at so many things. I don't have time to evaluate the 3 kids you got back there taking 1 reps this week. You tell me what you're seeing. Continue asking questions. Continue to listen. Yeah, there's going to be a time the buck stops and this is what we're running and this is what I see. But I think it's and it's not all X's and O's. I'm a big, retreat clinic. How do we all get together and just go have a couple sodas and just talk ball? I mean, last night I had a couple guys in the office and we didn't have a plan. We didn't have an agenda. We just started talking ball. I'd written down bash. You tell me, and we're drawn up, and then a defensive coach comes in, and we had him on the board showing how he'd stop this, and then it lets us start thinking about that. It's those moments that aren't planned that you get a lot of trust, a lot of buy-in in those assistants, but it's work-life balance. You know that, man. You got some kids, your own personal sons at play and be involved. I mean, we want to do the best we can when we're out on that field, but we got to have some balance too. We can't 24/7 Ankeny football. We've got to be able to get away, and what's my expectation in meeting times and to hold us to that. It's all those things that I'm learning, coach, because it was easy at CMB. I had 8 total coaches and it was just only 3 other guys on the offensive side. And it was easy to be on that, it's easy to be on the same page. But when you get that at Drake, I mean, at our staff, I mean, I truly have 10 offensive assistants sometimes that are there helping on Friday night. Will you tell the kid what's my role? Hey, as this position coach, what is my role? What's my role on Sunday to what's my role on Friday? Am I a booth guy? Am I charting plays? Am I signaling plays? Am I over to the TV at when the defense is on the field and coaching and teaching? Then what are our roles? And we had to grow in that. I told our guys, I'm going to look back at this year and say, gosh darn, I wish this would not have been my first year at Ankeny because I felt like we had a really special team, but we had growing pains and we just didn't probably, you know how that goes. If you're a new principal, a new head coach, a new OC, there's just some growing pains with it and learning each other. And we're just going to be better because we have trust now and we understand each other and each other's terminology and all of that. But you can't do it by yourself. I mean, you can't do it by yourself at 8-man Baxter bolts. I mean, you got to coach coaches. I mean, if you're an OC or head coach, you should be coaching coaches all the time and listen and learn from them too.
Right. That's good. Yeah, that's really good stuff. If you're sitting down and you got a young coach that is he's ran the wing T or pro I his whole career, his whole life, and he wants to switch to the spread thing. Okay. What are probably give me 2 or 3 key factors that you would help that young man, a young coach, kind of learn to start? 3 things.
Absolutely. So you bet. Number one, we didn't have this because at least I'm an old guy. You're not quite as old as me. Number one, this crazy thing called internet and Twitter and online clinics. Go read if you want to be this air raid, let's say that you were a wishbone guy. Some guys don't even know what that is, but if you're an old wing T wishbone, whatever, and you want to go air raid, start finding people online just to learn what that really is and what entails. And do you like it? Okay. Yeah, I kind of like this air raid. The next thing I'm doing is I'm calling around our state. We have so many unbelievable, great coaches in this state. It's crazy. I'm finding out somebody who runs air raid and I'm shooting them an email. I'm shooting them a DM on Twitter and saying, can I find 30 minutes with you to sit down? And I just have some questions. Every single one of us is going to say, hell yeah. I love when some coach calls me and says, coach, I know you run tempo and I've had that. Can you just explain how you communicate? I'd love to. And 30 minutes becomes another hour. And now I've built my coaching tree of people that I trust. So that the second thing is I'm finding those type people. And the last thing is I'm watching film on somebody who does it. And I'm just watching and do I like it? So this coach I talked to, hey, can you shoot me your huddle film? Absolutely. Here it is. And then I'm watching what they're talking about. I'm connecting the huddle to that coach and I'm continuing to listen and learn online, man. I'm finding those guys that I can talk to and just talk ball with. And that's how you build that philosophy. That's how you build that coaching tree and to lean. I mean, I got guys, believe me, after we got beat by Johnson, I am calling Saturday and saying, look at this film and talk to me and break this down for me. How do we get better next week? And we all have those guys that we do that with, that we trust and we want to learn from. Find them.
Yeah, that's good. That's spot on. All right, so you're the board president, so I gotta get one more question in there. Okay, why as a coach? I'm a young coach again. I like using this young coach thing because it's just
you bet. That's who maybe's listening. We got to grow.
Yeah, well, I get it. Hey, I'm still young for now. Okay.
Okay, good for you, man. I feel a little old. I got a couple in me, but I don't know how many. But no.
What's the importance of the IFCA and what can they do for my community, for my players, for my school? What do we do? We know what we do, but what do we do?
All right, here we go, man. Believe me, I believe in this organization. I've been on this board for 15, 20 years. I don't even know. I've ran some committees. I've been blessed enough to be in some leadership roles within IFC. So here's what we do. We build the greatest game in the world, and we play great football in the state of Iowa, and we believe in our young kids. So it is that organization to support everyone listening here. We support the young coach, the junior high coach, to the varsity, coach of the year. What we do specifically we have a scholarship fund that if you belong to the IFCA, your kids are eligible for our scholarships, for our Ed Thomas Awards. You're now eligible to be in our IFCA All-State. You are eligible, we give the free tickets to Iowa State, and that's just a perk to say, hey, why don't you come belong to our organization? And within that, the real beauty is our IFCA clinic. Or it's the chance for our coaches to get together under that IFCA. Our website's awesome. Coach Heitland does a great job of finding some of that. You, PJ, with these podcasts or back to the old journals. I mean, there's just so much. If I would tell anybody listening and you don't know, your school may belong, but I don't know, just get on the IFCA website. Coach Faust, who was the president before me, has started this strong mentorship program for these young guys to get connected, young head coaches to get connected. It's all about the network, and it's about believing in our game and what we're all trying to teach. Yeah, it's great to win a title. It's great to win a district championship. Hell, it's just great to win. Winning football in our world, 20 years ago, you thought you may be able to outcoach it. There is great football happening, and it's just about building that game and teaching our kids, because the end game is the relationship. The end game is what's our kid doing 10 years down the road, and is he a great father, husband, brother, community member? Is he a servant leader? That's what we're trying to coach, and that's where the network happens. And IFCA is just our overarching network to help all these people, reach these kids. So, but yeah, get on our website.
I tell you what, if call-in plays don't work for you, you'd make a hell of a used car salesman. You know that?
Come on now. I'm too old to even go to work anymore.
I tell you what, I
I'm
tell
not
you what,
selling you. Listen, PJ, that's
no,
not used car, man. I'm telling you how good our IFCA is. It's a great organization.
I tell you what, I wouldn't be on this podcast if I didn't think it was
there
good.
you go.
So
you
yeah,
believe in that? What? Yeah,
I believe in it
we
too.
Believe. That's it, man.
I mean, I got chills just listening to you. I was ready to go out and start and jump the pin and pull myself.
Let's go, man. Let's get it sealed and get on the edge now. One cut. I'd put the ball in your hand still. Let's go. One cut, get north.
The problem is I'd pull a hamstring.
Yeah, I learned I can't even throw Skelly anymore. My arm's too bad. I throw the ball underhand.
Well, hey, thank you again, Rob, so much, man.
PJ, thanks for offering and just, I don't know what
your knowledge.
Hey, and I've learned from you guys. That's how we do it.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm and we'll wrap this up here. If I'm a coach and I'm trying to get a hold of you, how do I reach you? What's your email, contact information?
Yeah, I've got 3 emails. The best one is get on the Ankeny football website. My email's there. It's Rober.luther at ankenyschools.org. I still got my Baxter email. I've got another one, but the best thing, I love Twitter. I'm an X guy. Just find me, DM me, and I'll get you my information from that, and bust me on Twitter, and that's probably the easiest. Or the IFCA website probably has my info on that too. So, and if not, just reach out to you, and they can get to me through you. So
okay, all right. Well, again, coaches, that concludes another powerful conversation with Coach Rober.Luther. And thank you for your time, and thank you for listening. And Coach Luther, we hope the best for your son at Penn State, and hopefully he they bring a national title. That's what I'm rooting for.
I'm proud of him. All the respect in the world for how hard he worked. But again, Coach Campbell mentoring him, and that's a high school football kid that's now at one of the top programs in the country because he wanted to work, and football's the mechanism to reach other kids. So yeah, Natty would be great, but I'm just happy for where he's at.
That's true. Well, hey, thank you again, and,
all right,
and I
Coach,
appreciate your time,
man. Absolutely. Go Hawks.